Alright, today on Foul Play, we're doing something fun. Guess what I'm going to do with that lumber and those tools? Go ahead, guess. Put it in the comments. I'll wait. No, really. I'll wait.
You're watching the Foul Play YouTube channel.
Alright, if you guessed build a duck blind, you were right. Well, you're kind of right. We're going to build part of a duck blind. Not going to get it all done today. Going to try to frame out the floor out of 2x4s, which is what I had laying around in the garage. And then I got some 5/4 decking that my buddy got from a job site that we're going to use for the floor. So maybe we can get that in there, get the floor framed out, get some legs on it, and maybe dig some post holes, get those guys in the ground, and then be ready for the next day. So follow along. I'm going to see if I can do a little time lapse for you as we start building our duck blind. Alright, we got the basic frame of that. I am using 2x4s, which I know I should probably be using 2x6s, but I had 2x4s, treated 2x4s, so maybe I'll just add some extra bracing. I'm making this 8 foot by about 6 foot, and I say about 6 foot because I cut these boards that are going across front to back 6 foot, so you figure what, 3.5 inches total for 2x4s on the end of them. So it's 8 feet long and like 6'3" deep. 8 foot long because I had 8 foot 2x4s. Going to be just a room for 3 guys in here, maybe 4 if you're real friendly. I've made them 4 foot deep before, which saves on lumber. You can use one 8-footer twice for the joists that go across. But I want this a little deeper, put a little bit more roof over my head. And I'll take the 2-foot pieces that I cut off, and those will be the legs. I don't need it to be very far off the ground here. Water doesn't come up very deep. I'm actually standing up probably about as high as it gets other than an exceptional flood. So I'll just put it right in here about yay deep and go from there. One recommendation if you're doing this, I recommend these Deckmate decking screws. The reason you won't be able to see this on the camera, but instead of a Phillips head, they're a Torx head. I think it's a T25 is what these are. Yeah, T25. It comes with a bit, but the bit doesn't lock up in my impact driver over there, wherever that is. So just pick one up. They make them that fit into an impact driver, at any home supply. But 3.5 inches for the joist together. I like the Torx because it doesn't strip out like a Phillips often will. And these decking screws are designed to be used outside of this kind of stuff, so they work really well. And I've got some 2-inch ones that I'll use for putting the decking boards down. So just that quick thought on how I'm putting this together. So let me get to work on putting the legs on it and then digging some holes. Alright, here we are, back day 2, starting the duck blind. I got tired digging holes yesterday, so I went home. And didn't get that on time lapse because it's boring and I'm running low on a memory card. So anyway, we're back today. I got my holes dug close. We'll see. I'm gonna put the legs on and start standing it up here, or at least lifting it up to where I want the floor. So follow along. Okay, so I got all the legs in, driven in the ground. I don't know if you could tell on the time lapse, I don't even know if it all came through, the camera stopped. But we're down the center and then the middle on the front and the back. I just put a big sharp point on them with the circular saw and drove them in the ground. And man, that was way easier than digging a hole, even though this soil is very soft, which is why it was so easy to drive those in, because just a few days ago it was flooded. But trying to cut through the roots with the post hole diggers is not fun. So I just drove them in. Worked great. So now I'm going to run up the hill and get all the 5/4 decking that my buddy saved from a job he worked on and put the floor in. Here we go. Alright, that's it for today. I'm out of screws. I've got plenty of wood. What have I got? I'm 6 down. It's like about 7 or 8 more to go. I think I've got that many up the hill. Maybe not, whatever. I got 2 more there. Yeah, we're probably good. But happy so far. No, nothing fancy, but it's sturdy for only being 2x4 construction. It's pretty stout, so I'm liking that. I was gonna cut that off, but now I'm thinking I might just, maybe I'll short up on the other end. Shit, it's probably, oops, pardon my language. It's probably okay. Nah, like that. Well, I'm thinking for her, for a dog box. I've got the Invisilab, but if I can build in a dog box, it's just one more thing I don't have to bring. So maybe I'll do that. Anyway, so that's it for now. We'll be back later for more. Thanks for watching. All right, here we are, day 3 on the duck blind build, and as Rosie is demonstrating, we have the floor completed. Pretty basic stuff, treated 2x4s, 6x8, 2-foot overhang, which isn't supported right now, but I think I am going to put some legs under it and maybe make a little dog porch over there, dog box, even though I have the Invisilab, like I mentioned earlier. Figured if it's there, why not use it? So I stopped doing the time lapse because all that did was just take a whole bunch of pictures that I was going to string together. Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't, who knows. But I'll just give you little tidbits here as I go. So I've got some more lumber up in the truck I need to bring down and get ready to build some walls. All right, we got about 3/5 of the blind built. 1, 2, 3, front being 4, top being 5. I guess I didn't count the base. But I just wanted to take a break and show you how I was doing this in case you've never built a duck blind before and want a really simple one. So I framed it out with 2x2s, which is a 2x4 split in half. You can buy those if you don't have a table saw, which I use to split them. You could use just 2x4s as well. It just doubles your cost for that lumber. All in all, in this project, I needed 11 8-foot sticks of lumber, so make that 2x2s or 2x4s. Treated would definitely be better. Also, I'm using OSB for the walls and roof and stuff. That's not going to last very long, but we'll see. I will just see how that goes and maybe slather it with some paint. Maybe I'll get 3-4 seasons out of it before I have to come up with some other plan. So the way I did it was I created the panel for the back, which is an 8-footer across the bottom, and then cut this one to fit inside, a little less than 4 feet. Screwed those in, just laid it down, screwed it in. I've got another panel over here that's going to be the front, and I stood that up. Would have been easier with 2 people, but I was able to hold it and drive some 3-inch screws in the bottom. That was enough to let it hold itself up, just so it, I could take my hands off of it. Then for the sides, I'll come around here to the end here. For the sides, that's a 4x8 sheet of OSB. I cut it 4 feet in the back to match the height of the back, and 6 feet in the front. I'm a little under 6 feet, so I can probably almost stand up in it. What I've done in the past in other blinds, having your head right there at the top of the blind like that, I like that because you can kind of stand, and if you stay still, you're still concealed. As you can see, I don't need to see behind me. The sun's going to make that too hard, but I'm not going to take any shots behind me, even when the leaves come off the tree. So it'll be high enough where you can kind of stand underneath it. You can sit down inside on a bucket or a stool or whatever. I may put a bench across the back. It's not a priority. bucket seemed to work pretty good for me. But stand there and be ready. The front will be 4 feet as well, which will put it about 5 foot off the ground. And this should be just a few inches off the water surface when I flood it. So, but 4 feet, I've done 3 foot in the past, which comes in about waist high. I went 4 foot here. It was one less cut. I'll sit down on a bucket and I'll be eye level, kind of right at the top of that thing, and I can stand up and shoot up in the sky without any problem. So I'd rather have that little extra concealment over something a little bit lower in the front. So that's it where we are right now. I'm going to put the front on and then work on getting the roof in there and then start painting and brushing. Excuse me. All right, we're back out the blind today, working on getting it brushed in. We'd had a bunch of trees that I cut down this summer that we just kind of stacked up around, so we're working on grabbing some of that brush. We're kind of cutting it, and you can see what our plan is here. We're going to just kind of stick it in the ground, break up the outline, and then we've got some, Tom's coming with some bamboo he found that he cut. We're going to tuck that in there as well. But we got all that stuff back there we can cut up and use. Some back over here. And then as well we have some back in the tree line that I cut as well. So I'm out here with my buddy Nathan over there, whose family owns the property. So we're getting the blind brushed in, getting ready for the season. Follow along. Alright, well, we got the blind brushed in. I think it looks really good. You see Tom over there again, back with us. He went and cut all this bamboo. Earlier this morning, Nathan and I were in here and cut some, well, there's some brush where I cleared trees, and we cut down a couple of little maple trees that still had leaves on them and brushed it all in. And I'll tell you what, by the time a duck sees us in here, he better be dead, because I think we got it pretty good. Got it pretty good. Got a good base coat of that camouflage Rust-Oleum, brown mostly, a little bit of the flat dark green, and some flat black. Inside as well, I think, you know, if you look at it from above, you think, well, you don't want a big glaring white hole poking out through those 3 shooting holes. So the inside of the blind is painted as well. I probably used 9 cans of spray paint for this thing. A better job would have been to use just get some outside exterior flat paint and a roller probably, and get a good dark base coat and then touch it up with spray paint, but I didn't do that. But I think we got her brushed in pretty good, and we're not going to hunt this in October. This one will be holding back until the November season, so we'll probably flood this 1st of November. Water in the creek has come up high enough. I don't think I'm even going to have to pump in here. I just dropped the pipe down, and this is going to fill up as much as it'll hold, I think. So it's all coming together. It'll be here soon. Thanks for joining. Have a good day.